going off with Rap Critic and Muse. So we were just having a mini discussion. Mini, get it? That'll come up in a second.
My wife
Comes up to me and says, I need more iron in my diet. But when I was telling RC that, I said that she said she needed more iron in her diet. For those of you who haven't seen the clip, it's a clip from the first episode of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that Casey Jones appears in. Casey hits someone with a
barbell
and remarks as a witty quip,
"You could use a little iron in your diet."
I'm not able to laugh at that in the Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Let off some steam, Bennett.
I'm just thinking about the brutalness of that, like, Jesus Christ, getting hit with a
barbell.
Oh my God.
You know what's funny? I knew exactly you were going with the steam joke as you were setting it up. I was like, I know exactly where it's going. Not for a second did I think it was Mr. Freeze. No.
Isn't that from Commando?
I think it's Commando, yeah. I've seen maybe, I could probably count the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies I've actually seen on one hand, and that's not one of them, but I've seen enough clips from it that I could recognize them if I needed to.
I was a big fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger growing up. Hold on. Like, he just felt like, you know, the all-American hero. It's like, and of course it's this immigrant dude with this
as an
accent,
Austrian,
you know what I mean?
yes.
Like, yeah. But that's indicative of, you know, but it could be anybody, you know?
It's funny. It's like, okay, so who's our all-American heroes? Arnold Schwarzenegger? No. Okay, Jean-Claude Van Damme? No. Stallone? I guess.
Right? It's like, what really is I mean, I guess he was in, you know, super jingoistic fucking movies, so, you know, I guess he gets it in that regard.
He takes that box.
But when I think of the 80s All-American hero, I much sooner go to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Commando was like, I think it was only like 84, but it feels like relatively early in the sense of like him being self-aware of like the tropes of the genre that he's in. You know, where it's just like the way he's killing people and, you know, just immediately with the quips and like no processing of the fact that he's just like, you know, killing a bunch of people. He's the all-American man. And what was his name? John Matrix. Yeah, just the most American sounding. American, but where is that from? What, Matrix? That's nobody's last name.
The comedian Patrice O'Neill, R.I.P., actually had a bit where he was running down the names Arnold Schwarzenegger had in movies and how completely unfitting of him they were.
In Predator, he's Major Alan Dutch Schaefer.
Oh, wow.
You know, that's a little sort of, you know, European sounding Dutch, you know, like Schuler, you know. Yeah, they're trying to be a little realistic. All right, let's look at him in Running Man, which, you know, okay, it's more futuristic, you know. So his name is Benjamin Richards. That's where the names start being so American. Benjamin Richards. Total Recall, he has two names, Douglas Quaid and Carl Hauser. Now, Hauser, that sounds a little German, you know what I mean? Oh, John Kimball in Kindergarten Cop.
I'm Detective John Kimball.
Hey, this is a motel.
I'm a cop, you idiot. I'm Detective John Kimball.
Well, if you're a cop, you idiot, come over here and talk to me, okay?
His name was Howard in Jingle All the Way, wasn't it?
Jingle All the Way, yeah. Damn it, Howard.
Damn you, Howard. Yeah, I forgot about that bit. She tells me I need more iron, so she buys a box of Raisin Bran Crunch, only to find out that it's got like 10% your daily iron requirement. Guess who has got 100% your daily iron requirement? It's none other than ya boy, the fucking Frosted Mini Wheats coming out.
Frosted Mini Wheat. I just got the Frosted Mini Wheats again.
The fucking dark horse. Who's that? No one expects the Frosted Mini Wheats, but goddamn, dude.
Hey, they serve their purpose, man. Functional.
With that extremely irrelevant anecdote out of the way,
we have our official endorsement with Frosted Mini Wheat.
But anyway, it is the last episode of the Going Off podcast before Halloween, and you're going to hear it after Halloween, so boo, bitch, I guess. So we've got 2 listener-requested album reviews, but boy, oh boy, which one do we start with? They couldn't possibly be more different.
I would say we go with the rap one.
I would absolutely agree, Lil Durk, just cause y'all waited first. Requested by Michael Adamvich. I don't know dick about Durk. I'm just gonna go ahead and get that out of the way. I've never fucked with this dude before. This is my first time hearing the guy.
Yeah, all I ever listened to was the this that shit you don't want, or what was it?
Well,
this ain't what you want, nigga. I think that one. That's the one, right?
I don't know. I absolutely don't know.
I remember Childish Gambino had referenced it on his Because the Internet album. He's like playing Lil Durk, This Ain't What You Want. And I remember even then being like, Lil Durk? I mean, okay. Like, you know, like if you're going to make that as your reference in your album, I mean, fine. You know, it's one of those things where like, I don't know, just in general, like Childish Gambino, it feels like when he references people, it's these people that are like, don't seem to be exactly on his same artistic level.
Well, like Kodak things. Black?
Yeah, like it feels like a sort of like, I don't want to say grasp for relevance, but it feels like it's just like, oh, really? The person who made Because the Internet, and that's what you're bumping on your... I mean, okay. You're bumping Lloyd? I mean, okay. You know, like...
What was that fucking song you wrote? It sounds like Durk.
You work for a jerk, pop a perk, because it hurts when you share, go berserk when you gurk on the dirt.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh my god, I didn't even mean that for that to be a reference to him.
You were grasping irrelevancy.
No, see, because I was just using that as a slightly different way to say dick. Because you see, when the dick is in your mouth, you can't necessarily say the word right. You see, that's what I was going for there.
So now we're talking about Lil Dick.
Lil Dicky? Is that who we're talking about?
Son of a bitch, it's Dave! I'm just gonna go ahead and say that I've never heard of that song, but I'm gonna reference it anyway, that this is not what I wanted. Just cause y'all waited, I sure as fuck didn't wait for this with bated breath. How many more puns? Play on words.
You're breathing quite easy.
Can I make... Yeah, quite comfortably. God, this was so fucking boring. Okay, look.
Oh my god.
I just did not fuck with this at all, man. I really do appreciate the personal approach and the stories that he was telling, but my god, beats, nothing to speak of. None of these are interesting or memorable at all.
Yeah, as I listen to this album, I'm reminded of like other rappers who, you know, there's a lot of people who kind of have like, you know, for lack of a better word, like the Bone Thugs and Harmony but serious rapper aesthetic going on right now, where it's like you have like the very serious keys plinking around in the background. So it's like, oh, this is serious gangster rap. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, they kind of get into like really like personal shit. And I think it's guys like Polo G. I think it's a T Grizzly or someone like that I remember listening to. Is like, oh, hey, like this is of a certain aesthetic, but I appreciate what he's doing, the vulnerability that it's giving off. You know what I mean? There are certain tracks where you get flashes of that. I honestly think the first two songs were probably the best examples of it, because after every song, you kind of get that feeling of, oh, that's all he had, you know? Like have a serious piano playing while he talks about, you know, his problems, but in a way that's not really that focused. You know what I mean?
I seriously thought they used the same exact beat from the first song on the second song.
Dude, straight up and down.
Am I gonna have to skip back and double check? But I didn't care. I thought the second track was catchier and had a better flow than Different Meaning, but outside that, I was like, it's alright.
Yeah, and it had a little bit of electric guitar going on in the background on the second one. I was like, oh, okay, this is doing a little something. And then they had that one lyric, I gotta just shout this out just cause, where he says, ain't no back and forth talking on the net, we send you a message, you want the king, you want that tiger head like that nigga off of Tekken.
Man, why wasn't there more of that?
Appreciate that. I know, right?
There was like one or two clever punchlines on this whole fucking mixtape. The songs I gave the highest ratings to get those out of the way. Street Affection, 248, that's it.
Well, I was just about to say, track number one I enjoy, specifically because it gives you like, it starts off giving you sort of really dark images, right? Where he says, in the hook, he's like, where's the love? Where's the love? You know, it's tiring trying to clean blood from a rug.
Yeah.
Like, just that specific instance of just like, I'm tired of this shit. And like, that just really came through saying that. And then like, right after that, it was the lyric about like, I know two robbers that said they tired of sticking up. Like, and the way he says it just gives you that sort of like, we don't want to do this, you know? And it gives you the reality of what this type of music is, which, you know, usually like a Lil Pump is just like, oh, I'm off the Zanies, I'm off the perk, and it's just like no substance whatsoever, you know?
I have written down that the first track was giving me the vibe of if we were listening to Freshman XXL Cyphers and this was Lil Durk's, we'd probably put him somewhere in the middle. of like the bet. Like, it's all right. That's really how I felt about most of these songs. Like, yeah, they're okay. That's how I felt at first. I'll correct myself. That's how I felt at the beginning of this album. Was this guy's okay? He's not fine. Really. It's harmless. I don't love this. I don't hate this. It's just kind of whatever. Up until Gucci Gucci, and that was where I immediately soured.
Yep. That's exactly it.
You know what's funny? I thought Gucci Gucci was as worse as it was gonna get. It ain't. It's not as bad as it gets. That would be either Broke Up in Miami or Turn Myself In. I gave both of those fucking zeros.
I just want to say, going to the Gucci Gucci one, I was just like, wow, I would literally rather listen to the Krayshawn song. Like,
you know, I listened to Krayshawn's album recently. Outside of like a couple duds, it's kind of catchy and fun, and I think she probably got a bad rap. It's not great, trust me.
Did you hear that? Because I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, I actually really enjoyed, like, yeah, the Gucci Gucci song. I went back to my review of that song, and I was like, yeah, I was cool with it. And then in the comments, somebody said, you know, there's like a male rapper named Speaks who actually wrote like the verses of this song, which probably explains why it's so good. And I was just like, God damn it.
Interesting.
It's like the one little bit of it, because I was saying like, hey, she actually has some flow. The lyrics kind of work. And it's like, oh, but that was done by someone else. And all of her other music isn't as good. Oh.
Talking about Three-Headed Goat real quick, that one would have been my highest rated song on the album, hands down, because I thought Durk delivered. I thought Polo G stole the fucking show.
Yes. And Lil Baby...
Lil Baby. Fucking Lil Baby could go away. No, thank you.
What even was the thing he did right before Polo G's verse? I was like, was that a verse? Did he just pass out before he could finish? Like, what happened?
It's such a fucking shame. He ruins the fucking track for me.
Yeah. And then going to viral moment. Yeah, that was the moment where I wrote down like the super serious piano chords, but toned down for the gangster rap aesthetic is starting to blur together. You do that shit again. What you did, bro, gonna get you a casket. I did shit for niggas without them even asking. I broke pounds for niggas without them matching. I don't fuck with you. I'ma tell y'all nah, even though I got it. It's sort of like, okay, he's saying a little something about like the loyalty of his friends and stuff like that, you know. And then at the end, he's like, you know, I like talking to the streets, man. You know, you got to be the voice. You got to tell motherfuckers like real shit. You can't hold back. You got to relate to them, you know, relate to the poverty. And I'm just like listening to that song. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't think this song was particularly that deep.
Yeah.
Definitely not stop the track to tell you how noble it is that I'm talking about this deep.
No.
Like, you know, it was just like, I mean, all right. Fucking trifling hoes.
No.
Jesus. There's always that one song on one of these albums where it's just like, I get it. You're not the most, you know, progressive guy, you know, when it comes to, you know, the feminist perspective or whatever.
I wasn't expecting it from this. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Where it's just like, first of all, the song's called Trifle. Doesn't even have a catchy hook, which I know that sounds like a bad way to kick it off, but let's be honest. Most stuff that's kind of problematic, you could at least be like, but I was bobbing my head though, you know, like, but this is just like, no, this is just bad, and there's not even good music to mask me from the fact that this is, you know, awkward. I can treat you like a clown, bitch. You waiting on a purse. I can really put you bound, bitch. You waiting on the first. Told me how many niggas you fucked. I said, whew, and you hear like a whistle going on in the background. I'm like, oh, whoa, she sure is getting around, you know. It's like, you tell me how many dicks you sucked, and I'm like, whoo, and they did the whistle again, and so it's like, yeah, freaky bitch said we should take a turn. Yeah, then he starts talking about money randomly, and then he goes like, bitch, you can't lie to me. You can't tell me what can't fuck. You was acting so unsure. We was taking turns, huh? And then you know damn well I fucked your friends, bitch. You got the nerve. You was trying to catch us up when you had the word. Answered the phone when he was calling. Damn, that made her nervous. He ain't even know I was at her crib. I'm like, damn, I'm dirty. You know, just to sort of like, oh, look at how I'm banging all these chicks behind these guys' backs, you know? And then it's just like, these lyrics came so fast that I immediately was just like, so you're shaming these chicks for having too much sex and being deceitful, or is it okay to do that and getting as much sex as possible is okay and it's all right if you deceive people? Because like you just said it, and like, oh, I don't give a shit that you know, that I'm fucking this girl and you know her man's on the phone, but then earlier it's scandalous ass bitches, am I right? Always just wanting to. It's just like, dude, like just all I want is just a little self-awareness, you know? Maybe just a line where it's just like, oh man, you know, maybe we're not so different, you know, just some sort of fucking awareness. You know what I mean? But it's just this pure idea of like, oh, I'm getting as much pussy as I can, and scandalous hoe is just trying to use me for... It's like, what?
It's so fucking typical, and it's not anything new on the concept, anything clever.
And then internet sensation, trying such a grab for the radio song, you know?
Oh god, yeah, good fucking luck. No way.
It's so not committed enough though, because it's like, you know, to make a love song, hey, you gotta at least sound like you actually like care about the relationship or whatever, you know. And then just the fact that like the mentality of how this relationship is probably going is kind of given away with one lyric where he's like, I gotta raise the roof for the people that don't let the net ruin their relationship. Yeah. Oh, I gotta raise the roof for the females who won't listen to another bitch. And it's like, whoa, wait, what? It's like, oh, I gotta raise it up for the women who don't listen to their friends about how their relationship might be kind of shitty, you know?
Why would you put this song after Triflin' Hoes? I don't get that.
Right? It's like, what?
I'm so... like, now we're gonna talk about some good relationships. Stop it. Fucking stop it. I got big time freestyle vibes from Triflin' Hoes and Doing Too Much, and not in a good way. Like, clunky, didn't really seem too well thought out, but man, I feel like I've just been biding my time till we fucking got to Broke Up in Miami, because I gotta read this. I don't want to read this, but I've got to read this, and I'm sorry for everyone who's about to hear me read this, but here's a warning now.
Oh god.
Put my dick in her oven. Loyal to my bitch, won't put my dick in her buddy. She done flew to Florida with all her buddies. Flew out, she stopped texting me all of a sudden. She texts me, say I'm embarrassing her in public. I can't lie. I thought about you in customs. She fell in love with me, not my money. She tell me keep going when she coming. I'm trying to put a boy in her tummy.
Just the fact that one lyric at one point in particular, because I remember having that moment of like, man, this sounds really good. Is this gonna be a? And then like I'm barely able to finish that thought in my mind, and then put my dick in her oven, and I was like, oh. And then so like I'm already laughing. I'm already like not able to take this seriously, and then randomly she texts me say I'm embarrassing her in public. It's like, okay,
maybe there's something to this. Maybe she's got a point.
It's just like, okay, if you're saying something like that, I feel like there's a very big part of this relationship maybe you're not paying attention to.
Man, he would have been able to skirt by without me even batting an eye if he didn't punctuate every fucking line.
Like he's really thinking about it, but not enough to actually like possibly change his behavior.
It sounds so corny too. The way he does it is so fucking. It's embarrassing. Yeah, I could totally see that he would be the type to embarrass someone in public.
He's like very faintly, you hear him going, wah. And I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be going like, why? But he just sounds like a baby. So he's like, wah.
No! I got a 2, by the way.
Yeah, I got a 2. Like a generous 2. Like,
yeah. Man, and it started out kind of promising. Like, right? I would have been able to let it slide, man. But there's a couple on here that just won't let me do it.
That is a problem with so many of these, like, types of albums, I have to say, where it's just like,
mixtapes.
You know, yeah, I want to rock with the aesthetic because you're showing me your side of, your world or whatever. And then after a while, it's like, but did you really have anything to say after song number 3, So instead, we're going to switch gears right now to... Switching to that old dusty trail. That's right. We talk about the sad boy of country today. It is sad boy hours. In fact, it's Orville Peck and Pony, requested by Jared Levy or Levi. Either way, still unsure. 2 weeks before we had listened to this, I was listening to a podcast that was talking about the history of country and how people tried to, basically wrangle it into, be the representative of, American music, to combat against that jazz thing that was going on, that black genre. So listening to that podcast kind of prepped me for this, because in it they were talking about like, man, it sucks that, country music gets so homogenized and eventually it's just songs about, my beer and my truck and my 10-gallon hat, and, it just calcifies on these like exact same sorts of things where it's just like, even if you're not looking at it from like the jingoistic perspective of a lot of like, country songs does, it's just like, it's generic and kind of boring what you guys are doing right now. I'm sorry. Especially concerning the mainstream. So, as I'm listening to this album, I hear the first track and he has this very like soft lilt to his voice. It's Johnny Cash light. Like, he doesn't exactly have the same richness and fullness of a Johnny Cash, but like I looked it up and he's like 19, so I'm like, okay, well, you're just not gonna have that anyway, It's someone going for not that like typical sound of today, but going for that like outlaw country sort of sound, where it's just like, it sounds like motherfuckers are like, wrestling up cattle and eating beans and shit, you know what I mean? Like, it has that sort of feel to it, but there's this new aesthetic that he kind of like gloms onto it with his music where it sounds like kind of future cowboyistic, you know what I mean? Like, there's certain sort of like things feel like a Westworld forgotten, like a future utopia, a retro, world where like it's the future of that world where we're seeing the ruins of this old cowboy place. You know what I'm saying? And like, there's one song where like it sounds like you're at a fucking cowboy themed, cowboy theme park, and one of the fucking merry-go-rounds starts up, but it's really slow and messed up, and like the music is really like slow and like really reverberating and sounding really scary. Like, there's just a certain loneliness and just like what is the word I'm looking for? Just like this cavernous feel to his music that's just like, holy shit. And as I'm listening to it, like I hear his voice and it's like, it doesn't have the exact same richness as a Johnny Cash. I'm listening to him like, okay, like, but I see where he's going for, and he definitely has the range for it, but it's not like exactly as full. But then I was thinking like, wait, this guy's like, I looked it up, this guy's like, what, 19 when this album came out, and, Johnny Cash is like a grown-ass man, so I'm like, okay, you know what, like, I can let that go, because he's doing so much with his voice in so much fun ways, where it's just like, nah, he's gonna grow into the sound, and like, the next album's gonna be even more, like, full, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you're over here saying, oh, it's like futuristic country, it's like Westworld. I could easily describe this. It's just gay. It's kind of become a cliche because I know, like, back in the day when people would think, like, oh, gay, oh, it's like disco. Everything is, like, bright and dancey. It's all going to be very poppy. What's very funny nowadays in 2020, a common trope of music that's quote-unquote gay is just sad. It's sad and depressing, which is why artists like Lorde and Florence and the Machine get kind of presented as like, yeah, this is very gay in the sense that, yeah, it can be upbeat, but it's also very depressing. Like how a lot of Fleetwood Mac can also kind of rope into that same thing of, yeah, it sounds happy at points, but it's also kind of really fucking sad.
I was thinking of the late 90s, late 80s, early 90s sort of aesthetic that this kind of had to it. Like the Madonna sex thing, where it's like, the music sounds very cavernous and big, but like it comes directly from those gay clubs. Yeah. There were certain songs, like as we got in, I think I just happened to look up and like, it was like track 6 or something like that. And it felt specifically like reverberating and big. And I saw that like they labeled it as like shoegaze. And I had that moment where I was like, this makes sense. Like,
I would actually consider Buffalo Runs to be definitely more of a shoegazy, but I compared it to The Cure. That it's more like post-punk 90s alt than it really is like just like a general shoegaze. I wouldn't say it's like that so much.
It's because of that reverberation that shoegaze has, right? Where it's like, it feels like it's filling your earphones with this full sound that keeps getting bigger and reverberating off of the walls. And he's doing that, but it's for a certain effect. And that's what I like. Like when we listen to that one shoegaze album from that British band, like it just felt very generic. Like all the songs just blended together. But because not only is he going for like different, like he's going for different sound aesthetics from song to song at certain points where it's just like, oh, that sounds like, the slow clapping song, but that sounds like the train running through the Western, nation. You know what I mean? Like, that sounds like that type of song. And then there's the other song which sounds like, the song that you sing in the saloon when, it's time to turn down the lights. Like, he really gives you different colors. So I appreciate that. But in addition to it, like, yeah, it has the shoegaze aesthetic where it's really big and reverberating, but instead of it feeling just sort of generic and like I'm like nowhere, I'm given that specific country accent to it. So I'm like, okay, I know where we are. We're in a certain place. And because it has that reverberating off the walls feel to it, like I'm getting this like, yeah, haunting gay cowboy, which is just like 3 words already. That's so much more interesting than whatever the fuck is happening in the mainstream. Yeah, like
you went from Dead of Night and Winds Change, which are very, on the trail type, almost like Johnny Cash kind of throwback, and then to go to Turn to Hate, which I have written down that it feels like REM. It's more upbeat. That's where you got the 90s alt. Then you go to like 80s post-punk and Buffalo Runs. Queen of the Rodeo is a bit of a throwback to the first couple tracks. And then you got Kansas Remembers Me Now, which is its own fucking animal. We'll
maybe
fucking get to that.
To bring it up first, have you watched Doom Patrol at all?
No, I read a little bit of the comics, but I haven't seen the show.
Okay, so I'm not sure how it is in the comics, but it doesn't have the best plotting in the world, but it gives you a lot of openly queer narratives that, like, we just don't get in superhero films so directly. So, it's kind of like a breath of fresh air. And as I was listening to this music, like, I kind of got the feeling of, like, if Negative Man was into country, the pilot from the show. Like, it feels like this would be the music you would be saying. You know what I mean? Like, it just so immediately gave me a color that was so specific. That was just like, holy shit, like, I'm just rocking with it. You know what I mean? Yeah, Turn to Hate. That was a great fusion pop rock country sort of joint. Like, I fucking love that shit.
At first, I was like, I don't know if this fits his style. It's a bit more upbeat, but he fucking sold me on it eventually. Like, it eventually came, like, it pieced itself together, and I was like, nah, he fucking got it. And you could almost tell that there was a fucking wink when he said yeehaw at the end of this,
my God.
Like, the least country sounding country song on the album so far. He fucking throws in a goddamn yeehaw. It's like, you fucking cheeky bitch. Fucking had to throw that in there. You knew what you were doing, you son of a bitch.
Okay. Oh, and I forgot to mention Buffalo Run and how it speeds up. Like, it's so cool. Ooh. Like, you hear him saying nothing but violence and that little, yeah. Where I was like, on the second time listening to it, I was already singing along with that little part, just the, yeah.
These fucking obscure ass lyrics. Hitch a ride on my makeup, I consider it another man's problem. Yeah, head on ride. Strike gold on my eyelids, got a sister who knows nothing but violence. Yeah, head on ride. Oh, fucking like,
And then by the time it gets to the end, his voice is more intense. He's like, I caught you staring at the sun. Looking up for number one. I was like, look, shit.
That's another thing, man. Going to, which song was it? Oh, Winds of Change. He'll do a thing where, even if it's a song that you're not like, you're kind of like, they become so fucking epic. And like, when this is one thing I don't remember Johnny Cash doing, hitting fucking high notes like Orville Peck does. And it's just, it elevates every song of like, well, if I wasn't crying before, God damn it, you got me now. Like, it's that type of shit of, like, it pushes it over the fucking edge. I would say there's no better track that's an example of that, like, Queen of the Rodeo. I just have goddamn written down for that one of just, like, man, fuck. I know this is a reference that not a lot of people are gonna get. Maybe some might. When Twin Peaks came back for its revival return season, every episode would end in this seedy kind of, like, backwoods bar, and a different band every episode would perform a song of theirs as the credits rolled. This album, every song just about fits that aesthetic of the it's this town where weird fucking shit happens.
Right.
But yeah, there's a little bit of normalcy, and, you know, people just like to kick back every so often, even though there's weird, unexplained phenomena just happening every so often that no one can explain. He fits that aesthetic of a Twin Peaks, which, again, kind of quintessential with gay culture, with just how fucking out there the show is. Yeah, Kansas Remembers Me Now. We gotta talk about that real quick. Oh my god.
Dude, best song on the album, hands fucking down.
The song is about the Clutter family murders committed by Perry Smith and Dick Hickok in Holcomb, Kansas, 1959. The murders were the subject of the Truman Capote landmark true crime novel In Cold Blood. Again, gay culture. So, goddamn Truman Capote, it's ticking all the fucking boxes. So, yeah, this song I written down that also, it kind of has a vibe that if you've ever played Fallout 4, and you got the radio on, and you're just wandering the wasteland to these songs that sound like they're from the fucking, like, World War II. This has that fucking vibe, hands down.
Like I said, when I was listening to it, especially when you hear the Kansas it's so laid out. Like I said, I felt like it came into a cowboy theme park, and yeah, like I just walked by the merry-go-round, and the merry-go-round is like still going, but it's slowing down, you know? Like, yeah, it's so cool. Especially at the tail end when it starts fuzzing up, and like really
just degrades to nothing.
Oh, it's so fucking good.
Ugh, fucking chills. And then to just follow that up with like a kind of intermission traditional type track.
Yeah, and I was just like, what in the, where are you taking me? Organ and the big reverb and these harmonies and this bass dirge going on underneath, and it's only like a minute long. You're just like, what the fuck was that? And wait, why'd you stop?
I wasn't the biggest fan of Big Sky, which is unfortunate because that's Big like
Sky.
It's like his most personal, like, he put his fucking heart into that one. It was like the weakest cut to me. I still didn't hate it. It just like, I got like a whole bunch of fucking 5s on here, and this is one of the very few that wasn't a 5 for me.
Oh no, man, this is one of my favorite ones. This one felt like damn country Pink Floyd or some shit with the.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Wide open sort of beat where it's just like a banjo just ever so lightly plucking in that open space every now and then. It's so fucking cool. And then like I think this is the song with the most like sort of musical flourishes that really sets you in where you are. Like there's a part where you hear like a tambourine play really quickly, so it sounds like a rattlesnake going by, you know. And right after he says like Big Sky, and you hear the big chorus happen, you hear like a little bit of wind happening. It's just like, oh, it's so cool.
It's so atmospheric, a lot of this album.
Wonderfully macabre, you know,
like fucking Take You Back, where it just like has those like whip cracks at the end.
Oh, I loved it. Like he knew where to use the tropes just right, where it's just like real quick. I think there was one point where it's like the first verse and the first chorus ends, and like the beat stops real quick, and you hear an old-timey gun go off that sounds like it's like on an old TV from the 1920s from a serial, you know, and then it cuts back into it. It's like, oh shit, you motherfucker. And what's that? Yeah, this is one where it sounds like an old West train chugging along with the bass and the snare. I don't know that much, but I know about keeping score. And if there's one thing I know for sure, it'd be a long day in hell when I take you back. The way he ends it right with that as it goes back into the, I was like, oh, hell yeah.
It's written down, Orville Peck states that Roses Are Falling is, quote, a love song that is about loving so much that you kinda wanna kill him.
Oh my goodness.
There's the quote, the ache inside the hate. I found a way to sit and wait, and now I can't. Your voice, your face, without a trace, I'll wait for you. So fucking, god damn it, man. I don't want to tear down the wall here, but how fucking Fantano just didn't fuck with this album at all, I have no idea.
Oh.
He put it in a Why You Know review. There's not even an episode for it, and he said that he didn't like his vocals, and he thought it added like nothing to the genre. Did you even fucking listen to it, Anthony? I don't believe you did.
I can get it purely from the angle of there's a lot of great goddamn voices in country. And to be like, yeah, it doesn't measure up as much and it's kind of slow. If I'm not willing to invest, I'm not going to get into it. You know what I mean? But like, I just can't see how, like if you're paying attention, really getting into it, like,
That's a disrespect. I could not believe. I was like, no fucking way.
What was it? Roses Are Falling. Again, another one of my favorites. And then, so he's getting me along for the ride, using all the tropes, just delicately in the right way where it works, you know what I mean? And then, in that third verse, he gives us a little Boys to Men sexy talking third verse thing, you know what I mean?
Oh, fuck!
But he integrates it so well, and it's like really quick, you know what I mean? It's really quick too, And you hear like a little whistling going on in the background, so it sort of adds to like, the little kitschy over the top sexiness of it, you know what I mean? It's just like, this motherfucker knows what to do with these tracks.
That's another fucking trope of when people try to do the sort of like the
Darlin'.
like fucking like old time Dolly type country tracks. They try to do a little spoken word thing. There was a song on Kesha's
you love me.
There was a fucking song on the Kesha album Rainbow that came out. That was like her big return album. Actually had a fucking Dolly Parton feature on that album. Featured on a song originally performed by Dolly, originally written by Kesha's mom. I don't fucking... It's incredible. Anyway, there's a song on that album that is, that's about like I love you, but if I catch you cheating, I'm gonna kill you. And there's a little thing at the end where it's like, I love you, don't make me kill you. It's like one of those like spoken word things at the end. It's like, that's done well. This one is right up there. The little tacked on spoken word bit. Fuck, man. Does it so well on here. I loved it.
Yeah. And then Take It Back. The Western whistle comes back once more. Because you heard a little bit on the last track, and then it's just like, here you go, and it's like a wailing whistle because it has that sort of reverb going on to it. So it just brings you into this fucking track so well.
Fucking Hope to Die.
Oh my god. This is like some fucking... I was listening to this track, I was like, this is some fucking Bette Midler shit. This is some... just that level of emotionality, you know what I mean? With that slow dance prom sort of music going on. But I fucking love it, man. Oh, what was that one lyric he says? Take me back. The words I'd say, I had to whisper. And then this long pause. Because you liked it that way.
Yes!
Oh my god!
Yes!
That was the sexiest fucking moment.
Fucking.
Oh my god! I couldn't take it. And then he goes out with Nothing Fades Like the Light, which is just the perfect ending song. You know what I'm saying?
It's such a tail end outro track.
It ends with the lonesome whistling, you know what I'm saying, after every verse, It's just perfect.
I'm packing up my kit, heading on to the next town.
Yeah.
Man, I hate that Spotify, without my knowing, did that thing where after an album ends, it automatically plays something related. I was like, no! You fucking spoiled... You took that moment from me, Spotify. It just needed to end with that, and that was it. It needed to leave me with my thoughts, and you deprived me of that.
That's exactly what it is. I needed to be left with my thoughts.
It's not a depressing album. That's the thing. You can have a sad album and it's not melancholy. Be depressing. Yeah. It absolutely is a big fuck mood. For real. I got a 4.5. It was so close to a 5, though.
I actually would give it that 5, man. I think it's such its own color that it's just like...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is its own experience, and goddamn, who else is making this,
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. It's a unique throwback. Like you said throughout the whole review, it takes these aspects and these... it paints with the colors of the throwback... Like Johnny Cash, 60s, 70s, a little bit of sounds of the World War II, kind of like Andrew's Sisters style here. And just it paints an entirely different picture with these sounds that, man, it's so fucking good. It's so fucking good, I can't say enough of it. But with that said, thank you so much for listening. That about wraps it up. We reviewed 2 listener-requested albums on this week's show, and if you are sitting there and you're wondering, boy howdy, how do I request an album to be reviewed on the show? Well, we've got some pretty good news. By the time you hear this, it'll already have been the beginning of the month of November. And lucky you, for the month of November, we are reducing the price of requests as a sort of early Black Friday, Black November type deal. So
That's right.
Album reviews are now 50 instead of 60, and personally recorded albums will be 60 instead of 70.
Yes, and for my Rap Critic episodes, if you want to request those, that'll be 80 instead of 100. And for the Review a New podcast, it will be 40 instead of 50.
That's a bargain at any price!
Right.
What are you fucking talking about? Get out of here!
What are you waiting for? Get your ass over to the link trees. You don't even have to get off your ass. You just have to click down from wherever the fuck your mouse is pointed at right now.
You gotta take advantage of these prices, man, because once it is the end of November, they are gone. We're bumping it back up to 60 and 70, so get them in while it lasts. My fucking recording thing skipped. It scared me for a second. Like, please, no.
No, please, no.
No, please, no. I was just recently listening back to fucking OT Genesis, that goddamn baking soda. I got baking soda. Oh, no, please, no.
Dude, I'm so sad that day I didn't stick around.
Man, that song's not great, but that other song of his? What was it called? Cut it.
Yeah. Cut it. You make it too much, but you need to cut it.
You gotta tuck it. Oh, man. Fuck it. I love that song. I love Cut It.
Dude, I really hate that, like, there are so many other, like, boring rappers that stuck around, like fucking French Montana. It's like, what reason is there to give a shit about this guy? But at least that guy sounds interesting, you know? He's gonna say something, you want to imitate that, you know what I mean?
We haven't got a fucking big-ass single from OT Genesis since 2015? Come on! That is uncalled for. He had a fucking single called I Look Good that came out last year. I haven't heard it.
Oh, I've heard that one. I Look Good. Yeah.
Is it good?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. Man, I've been sleeping on OT Genesis. I gotta listen to more of his shit.
Wait, hold on a second. Is he the one who did the song Bay? Yes, that's OT Genesis. Look up the song Bay sometimes. It goes like, I look like Bay. Ding, ding, doo, 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 doo. Bitch, I look like Bay.
Man, I miss when rap was fun back in 2015. Now we're just stuck with young Durk. Oh, man. But if this is your first time checking us out, all of our old episodes can be found on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify. God damn it! Every fucking time!
And everywhere else that you can,
No, I got it. iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, right? I think that was it. God, I gotta write these down. Holy shit. How am I forgetting 4 fucking websites? Oh, man. I was just gonna say, check us out next week. We're not doing a show next week. We're gonna take our advice and not do a repeat of 2016 when we tried to record a fucking episode the day after the 2016 election. Yeah, we're not doing that again.
Yeah, nah.
Because I imagine regardless of the results, I'm going to be a bit bummed. So,
right.
We're going to take ourselves a little vacay next week. And we know we just took a week off, but bear with us. We'll be back the week after that. Maybe 2 more requests, unless something else comes out by then. I see fucking A$AP Rock has an album coming out soon, and goddamn. See, here's the thing. It's weird. We almost caved and didn't do requests this week because we saw Clipping and Mountain Goats both released new albums this past Friday, and we're like, man, but it's like, we've got so many fucking requests and they're about to lower the price, so we're just gonna get more. So now I'm like, man, am I gonna have to fucking skip that A$AP Rock album? We fucking might have to, and that's gonna break my heart.
And we might have to skip your boy Jay Electronica's new album that he was basically bullied by his fans into releasing.
No!
How could this happen to me?
It's gonna be Racist again! Oh, fucking J Electronica, god damn it. Oh man, sorry everybody. If you want to hear us fucking talk about that shit, you know where to go. It's our fucking Ko-fi, that's ko-fi.com/goinoff, GOINOFF. I forgot to say that earlier. That's how you request albums, by the way. You go to the page and you do the damn thing, and we're about to do the damn thing, and by that I mean go. So until next time, for Going Off, I'm Muse.
And I'm Rap Critic, and yeah, we're stunning like Gucci, Louis, Fendi, Prada. Them basic cowboys wear that shit, so I don't even bother. Ow!